we have a special guest for you. There was just a must need to do Sunday because I had to get this sister on here to share her story, her experience, her activism, and her candidacy as a presidential candidate for the Green Party. And I'd like to bring my guest on. And she has such a beautiful and long, powerful name. And I want you guys to hear the proper pronunciation. So I'll let my newfound big sister from Cali introduce herself as I know she can only do.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you so much for allowing me to grace your incredible show.
Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited. This is awesome.
I heard you say you want me to pronounce my name.
Because I'm gonna be honest. We talked before. I remembered pieces, but then I was just like, okay, it is beautiful, it is long, it is powerful, and I want to make sure it is correct. Because I hate when people butcher my name, and I do not want to do the same to you.
I'll start. Ayape, Sudanam, Kinamu Christian, Moyowasife Curry.
Moyowasife. Okay, I was almost right. Moyowasife. That's beautiful.
It's a combination of Elway, Kiswahili, and English. 3.
Okay. We talked. So just to give everybody a little bit of background, some of you all have seen me be a little critical, maybe a little bit more than critical, of Dr. Jill Stein and the Green Party. It wasn't until recently that I found out that Jill Stein was actually in her own primary process. Like, I had no clue. I'm the first to admit I know very little about the Green Party and how, their party dynamic works. So this was all very, very surprising to me. And as soon as I learned that you were a candidate, I was like, oh my God, who is she? Because I need to know more. And I've started to look, at there are 5 candidates all together running on the Green Party platform. And I have, started to look through everybody because regardless of, whether or not, I'm not really sure how your guys' convention and stuff works. I know we talked about it a little bit previously, but, I feel like when we look at the Democratic Party process, that so many of us have been so frustrated and infuriated with, right? This notion that Hillary is the front runner, so she's it, or that is who the party holds up only. And when I started looking and learning more about just the Green Party process, it seems to be a similar air of inevitability on the other side. And I thought that considering, its position as this should be like a go-to consideration for us, I thought it would be good to kind of learn more about everyone who's running for leadership for this highest position, right, within the Green Party right now. But I was most taken by you from our Twitter exchange and from reading a little bit more just about your background. And I'm talking to you, you sent me for so much information. And I saw, though, that, everyone has this idea of Green Party people as if, they're these really far leftists who aren't, in favor of anything. But I saw that you actually were, in your past political life, a Democrat, and you voted for Al Gore in 2000. And only after that election did you go to the Green Party. Can you just tell us just a little bit about how you went from being a Democrat to the Green Party and what led you there?
I first want to make sure folks understand that we are the only global political party. We're in 90 nations. So we are a global force to be reckoned with. And because the U.S., are changing demographics, it's critically important that everyone understand that we are the party of the future of our nation. You asked me to talk about voting for Democrats and then coming over to being a Green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, real simple. Being raised in a predominantly Black family, coming from the South, folks tended to be, funny enough, both Republican and Democrats. So I never had a negative, a totally negative view of either one of them because I was made aware of the impact after Black Reconstruction that the Republicans had on Black folks. And I was also clearly made aware that Fannie Lou Hamer had to bang down the door to get in. Yes. So well, you don't know, but I'm 54. So I was born in 1962. I am the 16th of my father's 20s children. So there is 30 years above me. So being, kind of low in the age pool, I had a clear awareness from a very early age that their one party, the Democrats and Republicans, came from the same base. And being in a capitalist country, I wasn't clearly distinguishing like people try to. One is nice, one is bad. I saw them both with issues. So now, my parents very active in Pan-African movements, but me being raised, from the 60s, I really felt strong, a civic inclination toward being an American. And I chose very early to be a Democrat because they seem, as a young person, not a woman, that they seem like they had, a kinder way of dealing with things, that mentality. So I've been connected to organic. My sister owned an organic soul food restaurant, one of the first ones in LA. Nice. We're country people. We come from the South. So gardening, agribusiness is a part of my upbringing. Mm-hmm. So Al Gore struck me as the one that could help save the planet. So I made that decision to vote for him. And fortunately, I was living in Ghana, West Africa at the time. And there's an 8-hour time difference. So when the debacle with the Chad happened, I'm a social scientist, so I'm looking at the news outside. So I could see that those Europeans down in Florida, they were not Floridians. These were some New York folk. Europeans that came down there. So I was going crazy because, every Black contact I had from the Democratic Party, they couldn't see what I saw so clearly. I spent about $300 of my own money calling folks, just trying to get them to see what I saw, and they didn't. And I had to, I'm Abrahamic, so I don't go out alone and all of that. And what happened being 8 hours ahead, and in Ghana in that year, I did not have internet access in my place, most folks didn't. So long story short, these brothers got tired of me pretending I liked them so I can go and watch television at a 4-star hotel. Put me on point, and I had to look at myself in the mirror because I wasn't giving up none for no TV show, So I looked at myself in the mirror and asked, what is the difference between me and Al Gore besides male and European? And that might sound strange, but being raised in a family that never put anyone down, I could not clearly see patriarchy, capitalism, and privilege, because I had felt so privileged, being raised by parents that encouraged me to be everything. I think my dad and mom and my family thought I would be president from age 3, so I could not see any limit to me ever. It was a very prolific moment, and I said, it's patriarchy, capitalism, and corporate funded. They're both corporate funded. So asking those questions, I said to myself, then what party am I going to join or start? And I'm familiar because of my parents with the Green Party and had sent money and did a couple of things, with Ralph Nader. But I thought, and felt that, Al Gore can do it. So given that reality that he was going to get up off of his comfort, I looked at the Green Party and I said, these, oh my God, I'm going to have to help them. Because, Europeans don't understand that they came late to the game with nature. And I was going to have to be committed completely to ensuring that this party had people of color and women and children involved. So that's been my commitment from day one of the Green Party.
Right. Okay. Okay. And you started out with the Green Party in South Central, correct?
South Central, in my village. There was a South Central Green Party, and I joined, and then I saw that more things were happening in the Los Angeles Green Party. So I started to both of them, and then eventually I wind up taking a facilitation role with the South Central Green Party so we could keep going.